Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Esports Review, here to bring you yet another video. Today we're going to be talking about the state of Call of Duty. Now, this is purely opinion based. You can feel free to disagree, leave it in the comments if you do. I'm just going to give you my perspective. I've been playing Call of Duty since I was a very little kid, and I've been playing competitive GBs and UMGs for years, so I feel like it gives me somewhat of a valid opinion. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say that I really do feel that Call of Duty could be a top 3 esport, and I feel it's not because developers, as well as some of the companies that run the competitive tournaments, just aren't capitalizing on everything that they should be. To start off, I just want to say that I feel like competitive Call of Duty is on very, very thin ice at the moment. I feel like viewership has gone way down, even though it's a boots on the ground game, which has been requested for the last 3 years because we've been seeing movement systems, which obviously a lot of people didn't like. In my opinion, that was just because there's a very high skill gap in those games, but honestly, I don't even want to get into that because I know people will get offended by that. So moving on, I just want to say I feel like the developers really, really need to implement a system where you can watch competitive Call of Duty in the game itself, like they had in Black Ops 3, and I believe they did in Infinite Warfare. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was such an outlet for new fans to come into the scene and to find a team that they want to back up and support throughout the season. This just makes it increasingly more difficult for people to be introduced to competitive Call of Duty, especially when all the pro players aren't making any content solely due to keeping their strategies secret, which I do respect as a spectator of the league. But without much content being produced, it's so difficult for people to fall in love with competitive Call of Duty, which I have done myself over the last couple of years, and some of my friends have as well, because we all chose a team to back and we all watched their content. We all supported them on YouTube and Twitch and MLG and loved watching their streams, but now we can't do that at all. Coming back to the point I was trying to make there, I just feel the developers have really failed the competitive scene as well as the game in general because they do not have an outlet in which you can watch the league in game as it's happening and new people can be introduced to the scene. It's just honestly, I don't know how they got away with doing that, and I don't know how they haven't added that in an update. Even from a business perspective, it doesn't make sense why the developers have not implemented something like this yet, because having people fall in love with competitive Call of Duty will only increase their need to play Call of Duty and to watch more Call of Duty, which will in turn increase their wanting for future games and future titles, which will ultimately just give the companies that make Call of Duty, such as Activision and Sledgehammer, security on their profit margins. Anyways, enough about that. Next thing I want to move on to is the ranked system. Honestly, starting right off the rip, once they started the ranked system, you couldn't even play with friends. Like, that is what Call of Duty is founded on. You find friends you want to play with, whether they be in your personal life or you find them and meet them online. Like, that is why so much of the community likes to play Call of Duty, because they like to have fun and they all want to try to get better together. Also, the rank system adds something to the game that's different from just working towards prestiges and getting new guns and such. You get to say that, oh, I'm in gold, I'm in platinum, I'm in whatever, and you can brag about it if you really want to. It's more just a personal gain where you can say like, I went from silver to platinum this season, and honestly, it'll make you happy to see that you achieve something rather than just doing the regular, oh, like I went from first to second prestige. Like, prestiging takes zero skill whatsoever, it just takes time put into the game. That's why the rank system is so special. It's different. And for you not to be able to play with your friends while you're trying to achieve something, it's doing a disservice to the game, and it just makes no sense, because why would you want to get on and play with a team full of inactive people, which is a huge problem in the game. I can join a lobby and two of my four teammates will be inactive while it's just 2v4 technically, because it's just me and another guy working our ass off trying to win the game against a full team of four, which has zero inactive players. It just I don't know what they were thinking. Like and then you'll D rank because you had to play with inactive players. There's just no logic behind it. For some of the reasons that I've already stated, I've neglected to be playing the game for a while now, and I don't even know if they've changed the rank system as to where you can play with your own squad, but honestly, I've just lost interest in the game because you couldn't do it right off the rip. Like I don't know how to explain it. I wanted to be able to get on and I wanted to play with my friends in ranked. Why would they take that away from you for the first season? It just makes no sense. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Moving on, like oh my god, another just disservice to the game. What else do I have to say? The maps are just ridiculously bad. For competitive, they've used probably 3 out of the 10 maps that they started out with. They just added another one to the rotation, which I don't know how I feel about that. It looks alright. It looks like the pros don't really have a problem with it, and it looks like it's well rounded for competitive, but they should have had these maps prepared since God knows when the game came out, a couple months ago, like 6 months ago, who even knows. So for the first month to maybe 3 months of the competitive scene, we saw a maximum of 2 to 3 maps. That's ridiculous. Last year and the year before, I think there was probably 4 or 5 maps they used in the rotation, which is honestly a fair number. And like, imagine that. Imagine like why would you want to watch competitive if it's the same map every single time? It gets absolutely mind-numbingly boring when you have to watch the same game mode on the same map every time. No variation equals a boring time for the players to be playing in those pro tournaments and a boring time for the spectators to be watching those pro tournaments. This is one of the main reasons for me that I think viewership has gone down this year, because all the tournaments have honestly been top notch, but the thing is, we don't want to see the same thing over and over again. It's just not entertaining. Moving on from the competitive scene, because I don't want to keep ranting about that. As you can see, I'm very passionate about it, but I don't want to force you guys to have to listen to that. Moving on, I would say customization wise, they really shit the bed this time. And I'm not gonna kill them for it because obviously Infinite Warfare did not do so well with that either, because that game honestly didn't even seem like it was finished when it was released. But I was surprised to see this year that they didn't ramp up the amount of customization you could add. Like, yes, you can have your player wear like this helmet and then this costume, but that's not enough. Like, I think Advanced Warfare was the perfect Call of Duty for customization because there's so much that you could do with it, and you can make your guy look very unique, whereas in the last couple of years there's been nothing like that, and even the skins have been dull for guns. You would think as time goes on and graphic artists only get better that the camos would get better themselves, but that just simply hasn't been happening. This stuff is just stressing me out just talking about it. But anyways, I definitely want to address this last point because this is near and dear to my heart, as it probably is many of you. Zombies is honestly a joke this year. The last couple of years, honestly, in my opinion, they've done a pretty good job with zombies. Obviously, it's not Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 quality zombies, but I feel like they've done a pretty good job with it. But this year, you don't even start with a pistol. You decide what gun you start with. That is not traditional zombies that people love to play. And also the zombies map itself is just, I don't know. I don't know if there are DLC zombies maps because I've played this zombies one time and I just wanted nothing to do with it. I never wanted to see it again for that matter. And it hurts me because I have been playing zombies since, what was it, like probably second grade, and I just have loved it ever since. But seeing something like this, just, it hurts me to see Call of Duty go in this direction. Honest to God, I think they should either learn how to give us traditional zombies, which is what everyone wants, or they should just start remastering the old maps because it was such a letdown to see what happened this year with zombies. And in the grand scheme of things, I don't know if everyone's impressions of Call of Duty this year are skewed just because we all thought, or, well, not myself personally, but a large part of the community thought this was going to be the game to play just because it was boots on the ground. Most people like boots on the ground. Personally, I thought advanced movement systems were absolutely unreal and I would love to see another, but I know the majority of the community would not like to see that. But I don't know if it was people's expectations being too high or this game just really isn't what it should be. But personally, I would much rather play Black Ops 3, even Infinite Warfare, and definitely some Advanced Warfare if I could, but sadly, most of the community has moved on from those games. All in all, I just feel like Call of Duty as a game has so much potential in esports, and just the game in general has an unlimited amount of potential to be one of the biggest games in the world. But there's so many things that they just don't capitalize on, and I feel like I've given some points to go off of, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Leave it in the comments if you have your own opinion that differs from mine. But at the end of the day, I just want to see Call of Duty succeed. I love the game. I love zombies. I love competitive. I love pubs. Everything about it. And I just want to see them do what I know they can do. I'm sorry for ranting, guys. I'm just very passionate about Call of Duty and I just want to see it done right. I'm just gonna end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, as always, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's been the Esports Review. Thank you for tuning in.